What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing out there today? Welcome back to Wildcat MTG, and it's Friday, and I don't normally do Friday uploads, but it is the last day of May 2024, and as we get into next month, we have Modern Horizons 3, and so I wanted to do kind of a special opening today, and it's not special in the sense that it's a unique product that we haven't opened any of on channel before. In fact, it's the opposite of that. We're going to do a draft box Modern Horizons 2, and Modern Horizons 2 has been a staple of this channel basically since the beginning. And if you look at the title of this video, you'll see how many boxes of draft boxes have I opened. And those are the boxes I count for myself, and it doesn't even count the boxes that I opened before I started the channel. So when I say it's been a staple of this channel, we have opened up a box of Modern Horizons 2, whether it be for me or for patrons, set box, collector box, draft box. We've opened up some form of Modern Horizons 2 on this channel, probably at least every month for probably the last 2 years. And I wanted to give Modern Horizons 2 a little bit of a send-off. I want to do just its own opening, kind of just go through the product one more time, talk about it a little bit, and just enjoy it. Because, while I will probably eventually circle back, let's be honest, the spotlight is going to flash to Modern Horizons 3, and that's where I'm going to be. Like, if you are interested in Modern Horizons 3, and you were just checking out my channel for the first time, I would encourage you to come back, because we're going to open up a lot of it. Like, I have a lot of Modern Horizons 3 openings slated for next month. So anyways, I just want to do kind of a Modern Horizons 2, its own little send-off. And yeah, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and dive on in and let's just crack some packs. As of the filming of this video, these boxes are about 185. It's kind of been where they sit. Actually, it's probably up a little bit, right? They've been sitting comfortably at 175 for a long time now. About 185 right now. And if I'm being honest, it's not actually a particularly good time to open this product, because one of the things we know about Modern Horizons 3 is that the elementals and some of the other major mythics from the set are being reprinted in Modern Horizons 3 in some fashion. Some of them as special guests, some of them in the collector box form as in the form of like retro frames or other treatments. So, with that, once that was announced, cards like Ragavan and the Elementals and some of the other things that we know are getting at least some form of reprint in MH3 have taken a little bit of a slide, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Hopefully we pull some fun stuff. All right. Mystic Redaction. First rare. Hey, Patriarch's Bidding. Neat. Patriarch's Bidding is probably right about $3. Might be just hovering around like 285, 310, somewhere around there, but good solid rare. I'm going to put it up top. And then, hey, there we go. Nice. There's one of these stronger rares, and I mentioned that right now is not the best time because many of the cards we know are being reprinted and going down. This is a card that actually continues to sort of slide its way upward. That is Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, one of the stronger rares in the set. At the top of the rare chart, you've still got Urza Saga, you still got Esper Sentinel, and of course you got your fetch lands. But beyond that, you're starting to talk about Douthie Voidwalker and Yavimaya as being like $12, $13 cards. So I think it's right around where Yavimaya is at right now. One of the better rares right now. All right, we won't stop on every rare of every pack, but when we hit the good ones, we're going to talk about it. That is a really good pull, and I have largely held on to my Yavimayas. I've let go of a few, but I still have a bunch of copies because that's a land that without reprint I think is going to just continue to keep sliding upward. DRC, good solid uncommon. Scurry Oak, also a very good uncommon. Excuse me. Mog Salvage. Rare is Harmonic Prodigy. This is one of the rares that is now above $3. I think it's kind of working its way towards $4 tart territory. And while that's not like, earth-shattering, it's still pretty good. It's a quality rare. Foil Common Hell Mongrel. All right. Draft box, we should average right around 6 mythics per box, and I would love to see you typically around 2 to 3 fetch lands. You can have 1 fetch land boxes, and I know that 0 fetch land boxes have existed, but that is downright rare. It's usually about 2, maybe 3 per box. Sometimes if you have one of those really hot boxes, you can get 4 or 5. All right, Shikari, Healer's Flock. I like that they're continuing this cycle of the 3-mana, 3/3s with abilities. We're getting a new Mog Fanatic. Braids, creepy braids. We're getting like a new Mog Fanatic, Verdant Catacomb, or Command, excuse me. I wish it was Catacomb. In MH3. It's like kind of a cool little idea where they just take 3 of one old card and slam it together in a single card. Okay. Flay Essence, Ghostlit Drifter, Liquimetal Torque, Kyrion Ranger, and Sithis. Hey, good old Sithis. Sithis is probably a couple of bucks. Really good, obviously, enchantment commander, but, you know, other than that, doesn't see a ton of play. It's, like I said, a good commander. It's a good solid rare, but not going to be, it's not going to be in that $3 plus range. I don't think. It usually floats around the $2 range. Excuse me. So I mentioned some of the big hitters already. Ragavan is still at the top. Ragavan, I hate if I'm spoiling this for anybody, but yeah, we're going to talk about some MH3 and what we've seen a little bit here. More talk on that, much more next week. Okay, but you know, Ragavan's still at the top of the value pile right now from this set. I think Ragavan's, but it's only like, I don't say only, but still like $38, which is really low for Ragavan. Thraben Watcher, Slag Strider, Sudden Edict, Angelic Curator, and Rishadan Dockhand. I'm wondering, not necessarily the Dockhand, but there's a universe where where Merfolk is a real deck in Modern after MH3 comes out. So Ragavan's still at the top. I think next after that is Urza Saga. Urza Saga is still floating around $35, so that is the second most valuable card, and it is easily the most valuable rare. Beyond that, you've got, gosh, what is it? You've still got, you know, Solitude, Grief. Is that uncommon? It is. There we go. Foundation Breaker. You've still got Solitude. You've still got Grief. Cabal Coffers. Hey, Tide Shaper. Another very good Merfolk. Barb Spike. Seal of Removal. Rare is a Necrogoyf. I think Necrogoyf is still too expensive, but it is interesting that we're getting a bunch of Lurgoyf attention in the next set, primarily in the form of Commander. So I wonder if that gives Necrogoyf any more appeal. Be able to try and cheat it out for its madness cost and take advantage of filling your graveyard with Goyf Tribal. Okay. No mythics yet. Still early. Squirrel Sovereign. Skyboon's Blade. Vidalcan Infiltrator. Greed. Zabaz, the Glimmer Wasp. Looks like we have a foil common back there. It is Mount Velis Manticore. So ideally, if we had our choice, we would want to hit an Urza Saga. Esper Sentinel's, I think, still around like 25, 26 bucks. It is still one of the most valuable cards, but it is down by about $5 or $6 after the, I think because it's also getting a retro frame treatment. At the very least, Captain Ripley Vance, Vectis Gloves, Extruder, Territorial Copy, which does see some play, but not a big value target. So I'd love to see Saga, like, it's not uncommon to see Saga and Esper Sentinel in the same box. Would love for that to be this box. Grief is probably the elemental I've single-handedly pulled the least of. Like, I've pulled a ton of Solitudes, and I've pulled a ton of Endurances, but I've pulled very few Griefs. Combine Chrysalis, Bone Shredder. Rare is Dress Down. That's a good solid rare. It's probably not at that $3 plus range, but it is a good solid rare. I will put it up top. It does have some use to it. All right, almost completed the first column. No mythics yet. Our best pull thus far, by far, is Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth. But a lot of box left. Okay. Filigree Attendant, Timeless Witness, Scuttle Tide, and a Milliken. Come on, come on, come on. Rare, Profane Tutor. Hey, solid rare. Not going to be one of your $3 plus rares, but a good playable card, whether it be in Commander or if you want to try and slide it into other decks. It does have some use to it, but again, probably like sitting at like $1, $1.50, something like that. 2 packs left in this middle column. The other thing that we are missing is right here, and that is Fetch Lands. So we have pulled no mythics and no Fetch Lands to this point. Okay. Young Necromancer, Goblin Trap Runner, Sanctuary Raptor, Rare Curse Totem. This did spike up at one point because it was seeing a bunch of sideboard play. It's since kind of come back down. It's sitting right around like just below $3, I think, right now. So I'll put it up top, but I don't think it's at $3 at this moment. But fun reprint. Hey, Ristic Buddy, there it is. Esper Sentinel, nice. Still one of the best hits currently. In fact, I think it's like the third most valuable card right now because it's still sitting around $26 while a lot of the elementals have since fallen off. A lot of the elementals are being reprinted as like retro frames and special guests in MH3, so kind of like a double whammy. Esper Sentinel, I don't think it's a special guest. It's definitely getting a retro frame. Regardless, this is one of the better pulls we could have hoped for. That is, yeah. Okay, when I said they run together, I didn't necessarily mean as a foil rare. So there you go. Normally, it is not uncommon to see on the same print sheet at Esper Sentinel and Urza Saga run, so they often appear in the same box together. I wasn't talking about a foil rare. That is outstanding. Just so you know, like the foil rares are still, a lot of the rares didn't come as the foil versions in the collector packs. It was really hard to get them. They were usually coming in like the showcase version or something like that. So there is actually like a bit of a foil multiplier on the Urza Saga. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is like a $70 card. That is massive. That is awesome. Ristic Buddy and Esper Sentinel in the same pack. Foil Urza Saga, no less. What a send-off for Modern Horizons 2. The Esper Sentinel and the Urza Saga in the same pack. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Huge. Well, this is already a box, huh? We haven't even opened up any fetch lands yet, or mythics. And we have hit two of the best rares, and then one of the best rare, the most valuable rare in a foil version, which, again, has a pretty serious multiplier. Underworld Cookbook, Ravenous Squirrel, Caprichrome, holy moly, Mishra's Factory, and let's keep the good times rolling. Oh, man, there it is, Bestest Monkey. Yeah, he's getting a reprint. Yeah, he's been reprinted before. And we'll see what his play pattern looks like after Modern Horizons 3, but there is no doubt that this little guy has been running amok for the past few years now and has certainly made his mark on the world of Magic. Wow. All right. So we went from, in the last two packs, from like just a barren wasteland kind of over here, a lot of little stuff over here, to, oh, hey, Esper Sentinel and a foil Urza Saga in the same pack, and then followed up by a Ragavan for our first mythic of the box. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, man. Modern Horizons 2 saying, hey, don't give up on me yet. I will never forget about you, Modern Horizons 2. We've had so many good times together. I also said I really enjoy drafting as well. Like, for whatever it's worth, I'm mostly a limited player. Like, I do play some Commander. I do play a little bit of Constructed, like, Modern every now and then. But, by and far, like, my heart is in Limited. I enjoy drafting, and I enjoy Sealed. But, moderation... Holy moly! But at my core, yeah, I'm a limited player, so really fun set to a draft as well. Really enjoyed this set when it was being drafted. All right, we are into our second pack of the second column at this point, and now with, let's call it like a $37, $38 Ragavan. I'm pretty sure Saga is like $70, and then a $25, $26 Esper Sentinel and a $12 Cradle. We are already crushing this box. It almost doesn't matter what's in the rest of this box, and we still have 2/3 of the box left. How crazy is that? Shardless Agent, card that sees plenty of play. Brea's Apprentice, and a foil Bannerhide Krushak. Wow, what a foil rare. Usually about one or two, about two per draft box. And as I mentioned, the reason that there actually does exist a foil multiplier on them is because in the collector boxes, while obviously that turns up the volume on foils, most of the foils you're getting out of those, you couldn't get a regular version out of the collector boxes, because if you were getting a foil version, you were getting the foil showcase version or something along those lines. So much harder on some of those. All right, Blazing Rootwalla, Power Depot, Soul Snare, and a Gaia's Will, and a Beast Token. Cool. Oh, man. All right. Still no fetch lands. That's okay. Now I automatically, again, it almost doesn't even matter what's in the rest of this box. We're almost into just pure gravy territory. A Prismatic Ending as a retro frame. Card used to see a ton of play. Said and done. Wonder in the reprint slot. And, oh my gosh, yeah, let's go. Retro frame Marsh Flats. Hey, that's really neat. Marsh Flats, the regular version sits at like 13. I'm going to guess there's probably a decent multiplier or at least a bump on the retro frame. My guess is like 18 to 20. I could be off on that though. It's been a minute since I looked at him, but that is really nice. I especially love those retro frames. It's crazy. Looking at Modern Horizons 3 and looking at now that the set has been the main set, not necessarily. I think they're still doing the Commander stuff, but just talking about the main set. Now that the set's been spoiled, like I got so excited the other day just about like I'm intrigued with how it's going to impact various formats. That like I was like, oh man, and then there's this, and then there's this, and for a minute I almost forgot that there's actually like the allied fetch lands in that set as well. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, there's still fetch lands on top of all that. How crazy is that? Next mythic, Svelin of Sea and Sky. So not a big value mythic at this moment, and I'm not a soothsayer, I'm not a modern aficionado. I don't know, but I did say that I think that there's a chance that Merfolk starts seeing some more play. There looks like to be a couple of high impact cards that fit in Merfolk just right. One in particular is a 3-drop Merfolk that we're getting in the next set. So I wonder if more Merfolk becomes a higher tier deck in Modern. And if so, I wouldn't be surprised if this card starts to appreciate in value as a result. Vile Entomber is a foil uncommon. Yeah, not like a big value. Right now, it's as far as value is concerned, it's a nothing burger. It's a buck or two, but it's a good card. It only fits, Svelin really only works with Merfolk, so if Merfolk isn't like a top tier deck, then that card doesn't have value, but if it becomes one, look out. Goblin Bombardment, and a Timeless Dragon. Alright, right about the halfway point in the box, I want to speed things up. We got a little bogged down on things like Esper Sentinel and Foil Urza Saga in the same pack, followed up by Ragavan. It happens. Got our first fetch land, and it was a retro frame. It's great. Archfiend of Sorrows, Arcus Acolyte, Ren's Run Hydra. Next rare is a Nevinarol or Larry Nevin's Disc, followed by a Persist, which is still a good playable card. I also think Persist might be a special guest in the next set in Modern Horizons 3. Persist is like a really good Reanimator card. It's just, obviously, Modern Horizons 2 has been in print for a while. But it is a really solid reanimation card. I do run it in my Reanimator decks. Alright, Lucid Dreams. Bone Shredder. Rare is a Thought Monitor. Always good for affinity. Dahada's Ploy. And Squirrel. So, as we approach, we got 4 packs left, counting the one in my hand in the middle column. We sit at 2 mythics right now. Again, the average seems to be about 5 to 6 per box on the draft boxes. We've got 1 fetch, which is great, and we have already crushed it on the rares with the most valuable rare in a foil form, and then the second most valuable rare in Esper Buddy, or Ristic Buddy, Esper Sentinel. Solitary Confinement in that reprint slot. Next mythic is Sarah's Emissary. Okay, all right. A card that, doesn't really get its due. It's not a big value target. I want to say Emissary is probably in the neighborhood of like $4 to $5. So it is not a huge value target as far as Mythic's concerned, but it is a really good card. And by the way, I think the art is outstanding. I really like the sketch version, and I know that sketch versions aren't anybody's favorite, but I like the watercoloring on that a lot. I think it looks really good. All right, so that's 3 Mythics. Like I said, Emissary I think is probably right around the $5 mark. If we get really lucky in the reprint slot, the best we can do there if we pull a Mythic it's definitely Cabal Coffers. And then after that, you like a Mirari's Wake or Imperial Recruiter. I think Recruiter is back up to like $8 right now. Mirari's Wake still sitting around 5 right now. Okay. Hey, Academy Manufactured. Neat. There's a really good quality rare. Currently not in vogue. Also gets reprinted now and just regularly in Commander decks because it's just token generator extreme. So probably sitting between $3 and $4 right now, but it doesn't really matter because it's a card that will continue to see play and be popular. It makes me wonder if they're just gonna make it an auto include in those types of precons now, where it's like, oh yeah, we just throw in Academy Manufacturer. It's almost like a staple of those kind of decks. But yeah, Manufacturer is probably about $4 right now. It never really gets to like, once it hits like 10, then it sort of like dies back down, and then it trails off for a while, and then it becomes more popular again. It kind of just, it's one of the weird fluctuating cards in this set. Scourge Familiar. Sylvan Anthem, and a Krabby token. Last pack of the middle column here. Okay. Got Road and Ruin in the sketch, Rakdos Headliner, Clattering Augur, Gorilla Shaman, and hey, there we go. Nice. Misty Rainforest. Misty and Tarn are still at the top of the value pile as far as fetch lands are concerned. I think they're both sitting about right around $18 to $20 right now. Probably Tarn's like 19, Misty's like just below 19. I don't know. But I will take all the Misties. Actually, what's funny is, and cool, like I'm not a complaint at all, is of all the fetch lands, enemy fetch lands I have been able to stock up on now through Modern Horizons 2 openings, I'm pretty sure far and away that Misty is the one that I've pulled, that I've opened the most. And that is not a complaint. Foundation Breaker, so that brings us up to 2 fetch lands. 2, Thread and Watcher, Graceful Restoration, Seal of Removal, and there we go, a Grief. Neat. I'm excited because, well, actually, I'm cautiously, I don't know. I want to be excited. I love Grief. I think it's a really good card. I think it's a really busted card, and it is the elemental, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, that I've opened the least amount of. The one thing I'm probably concerned about is I think this card might still be ban-worthy. Like, they banned Fury, and I'm not even sure that was the problem. Grief is still really strong. Soul of Migration. So that's a really good pull. I think Grief's probably sitting right around 18 to 20 bucks right now. Pardon me. Excuse me. Yeah, I think Grief is probably sitting right around 18, 20 bucks right now. It's so funny because, we look at the current meta. We are in the last column now. And everything is like, well, does it beat the One Ring? Well, does it die to Bowmaster? And the other one I think that looms large is like, well, how does that hold up with if a Grief just gets picked out of your hand a Grief just picks out of your hand and scams you on turn 1? Counterspell. Asmorano Mardukadais Nikoldakar in the retro frame version. Asmo is a really cool card. Been obviously printed a lot in this set and isn't currently in vogue with the food decks, but it's a neat card, so I like it. All right. So, yeah, happy to pull Grief. But even as I was looking at, we wonder with like Modern Horizons 3, like how will the cards from that set now warp the format of Modern? And so many of the things are, does it die to Bowmaster? Does it beat the One Ring? Or do you just get scammed and lose the card before you get to play it anyway because of Grief? Bloodbraid Marauder. So I am still... I guess worried is the right word that Grief is just going to end up eating a ban at some point anyway. But for the moment, we enjoy the pull because that is easily the elemental I've pulled the least amount of. Sweet pull indeed. All right, Necromancer's Familiar, Glorious Enforcer, Liquimetal Torque, Yavimaya Elder, Nykthos Paragon, and a Specimen Collector. That's going to do it there. All right. That brings us up to 4 Mythics, 2 Fetch Lands. And again, we've already hit 2 of the higher values. What would actually be really sick, and it is possible, is to actually pull a regular Urza Saga as well. Again, not uncommon for Esper Sentinel and Urza Saga to be in the same box. And we don't normally count the foil because that's kind of a different print run. Tireless Provisioner, that's good uncommon. Sweep the Skies, Altar of the Goyf. Rare is a Chainer Nightmare Adept in the reprint. And then another Asmorano Mardukadais Nikoldakar. Neat. Okay. Squirrel token. Moving along. So that would really set this box off if we actually pulled a regular Saga in the same box as well. Plus maybe another fetch land. Maybe another super cool Mythic. Box is already good, though. The box is already a pretty outstanding box. Flame Tongue Yearling. Slag Strider. Mishra's Factory. Yeah! Yeah! Urza Saga. There we go. Asking you shall receive, huh? 35 bucks for Urza Saga. Still a very highly played card. I don't think that's going to change with MH2. I still think this card's going to see plenty of play, especially when, it's like you look at all the cheap artifacts, all the 1 mana value artifacts, and you're like, well, what's good that Saga can fetch up? So that's a huge pull for us. Box is awesome. Urza Saga, foil, Urza Saga, Esper Sentinel. We have crushed the rares, and actually, I mean, we've done well for ourselves in the mythics as well. But we've gotten the best we could have hoped for out of the mythics, basically. Or, excuse me, out of the rares. All right, Rise and Shine, Burdened Aerialist, and a little treasure. Whew. So I think we've hit the 3 most valuable cards in the set between Ragavan, Urza Saga, and Esper Sentinel. Next up, I think, is like Cabal Coffers, and then probably Grief and Solitude are right behind there before you hit the fetch lands. Fast and Furious, Power Depot, Sterling Grove, which is a good, solid reprint as well. I don't remember Grove being above $3 right now, but it's still a very playable card, still a good card. There's the next one. There you go. Douthie is also, and I mentioned this at the top of the video when we pulled the Yavimaya, about the best you can do behind Saga and Esper Sentinel as far as rares are concerned, and of course the fetch lands. I think Douthie is still sitting about $12, a very played card both in Modern and in Commander. That's a huge pull. We have now hit basically all you could hope for out of the rares in terms of value. All right, we have 4 packs left. Maybe we eke out 1 more Mythic, and maybe we eke out 1 more fetch land in these last 4 packs. Kind of regardless of what happens, the box is certifiably awesome. Okay, I don't know why I was struggling with that pack. It just did not want to open up. Here we go. Flay Essence, Lazatop Chancellor, Brainstone, Hunting Pack, Rare Priest of Fell Rites. Okay, all right. It's a decent rare. Not a value target, but that's cool. 3 packs left. Okay. Junk Winder, Glinting Creeper, Arcbound Javelineer, Vindicate from the reprint slot, and a sure, why not? Retro Frame Svelin. You never know. You never know. So we did get another Mythic. It is a Retro Frame Svelin of Sea and Sky, which is, again, we had our discussion about this card. Not a big value target right now, but if Merfolk end up becoming a thing in Modern, don't count it out. All right, 5 packs left. We're at 5 Mythics now. That's pretty average for the box. Again, I think the average probably about 5 or 6. So we are definitely at the point of average. If we can get 1 more fetch land, that would be outstanding. And Scurry Oak, nice. Maybe a Scalding Tarn, Milliken. Oh. Sphinctifier Invec. And I was like, I just saw another foil rare, and I saw the 1/1, and I was like, what are the chances? What are the chances? Holy moly. Wow. So this is Ristic Buddy in the sketch treatment, which I also really love. I picked up a playset and kept a playset of a lot of the sketch treatments. Like I said, I know that's not everyone's flavor, but I really enjoy it. That is huge. That is like crazy good. I can't remember what it's going for. It's probably in the neighborhood of like 35 to 40, and I could be wrong on that. Regardless, like that is an incredible pull to have 2 foil rares in the same box and have them both not just be like pretty good, but like be the best. Here's a Saga and a Showcase sketch treatment foil Ristic Buddy. Absolute insanity. Okay, last pack. Doesn't even matter what it is, right? Like Garth One Eye can't bring me down. Wow. The Underworld Cookbook, Goblin Trap Runner, Vectis Gloves. Yeah, there we go. Why not? Cabal Coffers from that reprint slot. That's what I'm talking about. That was the most valuable Mythic by far in that reprint slot. $20 does see play both in Commander and as well as Modern. That's huge for us. What a way to end the box. And we still have 1 rare behind it, and it's not a fetch land, but that's okay. It's Chitter Spitter, which was a limited all-star. Absolutely outstanding. I don't even know... What do I even say about this box? This is just, for me, like the perfect send off for Modern Horizons 2. And obviously, like I don't know what's in the boxes. The box has been sitting on my shelf for months because I buy them cases at a time for openings, for patron openings, for openings for myself. Again, it's been a channel staple for like the last 2 years, so I always had some on hand. And I was like, you know what? It feels weird to not end this month and not have it be with a box of Modern Horizons 2, knowing that it's probably going to be a minute before I circle back to it. And I just feel like, you know what? This is my love letter to you, Modern Horizons 2, and I feel like reciprocation here. Absolutely epic. Like, Ragavan, Grief, Cabal coffers, even the bad mythics were not bad mythics, right? 2 Svelins of Sea and Sky Stare Emissaries, like, I'll take those over Garth One Eyes and Planeswalkers, except for Grist, all day long. We got 2 fetch lands, a Retroframe Marsh Flats, and a Misty Rainforest. The rares were ridiculous with the Ristic Buddy in the sketch treatment, Urza Saga, just outstanding. And then, of course, we hit the regular Urza Saga, the regular Esper Sentinel, Douthie Voidwalker, and the Yavimaya. Wow. All right. Well, I guess I've said my piece. That's going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me, hit the like button for me, and by all means, drop me a comment. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, everybody, and be well.